Warning, the following may contain abyssal chickens. Join fantasy authors Phil Tucker, Timandra Whitecastle, David Benem, Benedict Patrick, and Josiah Bancroft as they roll dice and take on the bad guys in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. 5 authors, 5 worlds, 1 adventure. It's time to get crit-faced. Previously on Crit-Faced. The Wizard of Wine's winery is overrun by twig monsters. Master Sunna uses the last of her flight to confront the druid who was first alerted to their presence. But the party has been separated, and the hordes within the vineyard are closing in fast.
Right, Kellin, you're in melee combat with literally dozens of twig monsters. What's the plan?
First, I fly into a frenzy.
Yes. Understand.
And I can see the creepy evil druid woman.
No, that's in the next room. You basically saw Master Sunna Peter Pan it. There's no way you can follow her. You're gonna have to get through these creatures first.
Okay. I just swing my axe with reckless abandon.
Okay. Okay? So go for it.
Is there any way I can attack multiple opponents at a time? You know, because I'm assuming these are little tiny things.
These are little things.
Big sweeps.
Unless you've got an attack that lets you do that, you're going to have to take them on one at a time.
Okay. All right. I'll just attack 3 times then, which is what I can do now.
Yes.
16.
Will hit.
All right. 7 points.
That's dead.
Next one.
Ooh.
7.
Will not hit.
The next one. 15.
Will hit.
And 5 points.
Dead.
Yay.
So smash, just plowing into them, but it is like an impossible task.
With smash.
That's good. It's like an impossible task. I mean, it feels, although 2 more lie dead, it feels like you've hardly made any dent on just this mass as they sort of squeeze in on you. Because Master Sunna's not there, you're also aware that 3 of them now have contact with you, so you're going to be taking 3 attacks from these guys when it comes to your turn. Is there anything else, Kellin?
Can I just kind of quickly get the lay of the land?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are there rafters above, anything reachable where I could jump up and grab?
Okay, there's
kind of start climbing.
Nothing. I mean, you're basically standing here. There's a wagon, basically that's sort of in front of you. That's where ready to come out of the opening that you're in, if it was hitched up to a horse or whatever. And there's a small set of stairs up just to your right within the loading bay. And those stairs would lead to the corridor that Master Sunna ran down. There is a crane, high, you can see that there's a crane, and it's got something like it's got its ropes sort of dangling down in the center of the room. So actually, that's still 10 feet forward, and then obviously it's about 15 feet up before you'll be able to grab a hold of the rope. So there's no, there's nothing there for you at the moment, I'm afraid.
Okay. Is the cart close enough for me to jump into it?
You can't get any further now. It's covered in twig monsters. Basically, you are in this doorway, and it's just a room of these beasts now pushing at you out. They're trying to get out, if that makes sense.
Can I get to that short stairwell?
No, you're like in the door. That's it. If you one step forward, and it's just these beasts are there. So
okay, this sucks.
Can he get to a priest? Is there like a confessional anywhere nearby?
I don't know if we've got that long.
It was nice knowing you.
I mean,
can you hide behind the door? Oh my god!
Well, I mean, I could possibly jump up and grab the the top of the door and heave myself up there.
I mean, there is the doorway. Now, if you did that, it would be. I mean, you could have a go at that. I mean, certainly with your athletics, but the three creatures attacking you, that would be you moving away from them. So they would all get attacks of opportunity. They would get free attacks on you. Because you're in the melee combat.
Mm.
There is a doorway, but obviously, if you pull yourself up on the door, there's not really anywhere to go. Or you could try the side of the building, I guess, because there are windows, to the next level of the building, maybe 10 feet above you. So I guess you could climb up to them, but obviously you're in combat with these creatures at the moment. So getting out of that combat would allow them to attack you.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try to get to the windows.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, technically you will be able to do that. These creatures are going to get their attacks on you first, Kellin, and then you're going to be able to climb, and obviously you'll have to take a climbing check to see if you can get up to the window. But we're not going to do anything more than that, so you'll be left hanging out off the window. But you're happy for the beasts to get their attacks on you first?
They can try.
Okay.
He's thrilled.
So the first one has a critical miss again. These things, what's going on here? The next one's 13.
Doesn't it stab its buddy or something?
13 versus AC.
Not gonna do it.
20 versus AC.
Nope.
20.
Oh, okay.
So so this finally manages, just as you sort of move on up, it finally manages to find a chink in your armor, and you feel a stabbing pain in your thigh for 3 piercing damage. So,
what if I have resistance to piercing damage?
Then that's reduced to 2, because I believe you round up. Yes, we round up. So it's 2 piercing damage. Okay, so I also need you to take an athletics check for me.
I remember, I think the last time I did that, I was trying to dive out of the window after being in the Blood of the Vine Tavern. It did not go well.
Yeah, this is not the easiest climb in the world either, but
it's burned into our collective memory.
Okay, athletics, you said?
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on. 17.
17 will actually succeed.
Yay!
That's right.
No, you sort of grip. It's just the planks, basically. You almost feel like you're having to gouge holes in the soft wood just to pull yourself with the adrenaline and probably the frenzy that you're going to allow you to do that. And you come up to these small windows that are just sort of big enough, you'll be able to sort of smash into them and squeeze through the next turn. Now you look in, just as we finish your turn here, as you're gripped to the side under the windowsill, looking into the room, you can see this is obviously the room where the winch is that, was used down below. And you can see a figure perched on top of this winch, hidden in the darkness above the loading bay. It's a man with wild hair. His skin is painted red with blood, and he's waving a gnarled staff made from a black branch. And you can hear him up there, sort of rocking back and forth on the winch. And you can even through the glass of the window, you can hear him babbling away around some kind of ongoing chant that he's doing.
Wow.
So, okay.
Could we get more of that chant?
Yeah. Oh god. So, it's part of my dreams.
Kellin's turn is over. It's actually now the druid's turn. So we're heading back to Master Sunna. Master Sunna, the druid woman who you've just thrown light in her face. She takes a few steps towards you. She moves 5 feet towards you. She takes her hands and she works them together in the air in front of her as if there's some kind of clay in front of her that there's some unseen clay. And as she clenches her hands, you hear this hissing noise, and then you see blue light starts to play within her hands, and you realize you've seen something like this before. It reminds you very much of the few times that you have seen Jean Mallarmé cast his thunder wave on a target.
Oh, no.
And that's exactly what this lady does to you. So she basically throws her hands at you, and as she does so, this burst of thunder and lightning flashes from it, darting across the room, trying to impact upon you. So I need you to take a Constitution saving throw.
Do I have to? So I add the Constitution.
So yeah, you've got on. I think it's your second column from the left. You've got your different saving throw types.
Saving throws.
And one of them will be Constitution.
Okay. But normal D20.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yes. Okay. Then 11.
11. That does not succeed. So basically, this lightning smashes into your chest. You take 7 lightning damage, and you get it impacts on you with such force that you get lifted off your feet and thrown back through the door out of the room that you were in, and you smash against the wall of the corridor on the other side. Okay. Okay, we'll go then to the twig blights. So, Kellin, you're actually safe. The druid that's up there with you doesn't seem to be doing anything. However, what is happening, and Jean and Lord Talfan, you guys are just aware that the blights that were in the room with you, were in the loading bay room. A big chunk of them surge out of the loading bay, and of course you guys are there on the path, and so a massive mob of them start to run up towards you. So they run 30 feet down. In fact, they only run 20 feet down from there. So they are 30 feet away from you at the moment. This wave of blights that are running out of the winery. However, there are the blights that were in the wood, that were in the vines, and they actually are close enough where they sprint up, and 2 of them start to attack you, 1 on each of you. So, Lord Talfran, you're getting attacked first by the 2 the 2 that you haven't managed to deal with in the vines. So the first one needles at you with its claws, and it gets 18 versus AC. It stabs you for 6 piercing damage, and Jean, yours gets a critical miss, so you're fine. There's
DM bias.
Okay, there's other movement going on in the vines, and the mob that was running to sort of get Kellin from the side, it swings towards you guys as well. So, and then you can see that these larger creatures are much closer, and they'll be getting in touch with you next turn. There's 5 of them still running through the vines. They're only 20 feet away from you now. I'll update you on these guys in a wee second. Master Sunna, some of the blights in the loading bay, they didn't surge out. They heard you getting thrown through the doorway, so they've moved up the corridor, and 2 of them are attacking you. So the first one gets 23 versus AC. So I imagine that hits you for 3 piercing damage, and the other one only gets 6 versus AC. So I imagine that doesn't affect you. So you're now in combat with 2 of them, Master Sunna. Jean and Lord Talfan, you got 1 on each of you, and Jean and Lord Talfan, you're also aware there are 30 feet away down the path, there's these smaller blights. However, 20 feet away from you in the vines, that some of these larger ones are running. And again, the packs that have been in the distance have run closer to you as well, so there's more coming. Right, we're on to Jean. It's your turn. You're being attacked by a blight. It's not doing a particularly good job.
Right. Well, that's what I like to see from a blight. I like to see a very weak blight, a light blight in the morning. That's what I always say. I think I will start by casting Bardic Inspiration. The question I have is, it goes 60 feet for anyone who can hear me. Is that Master Sunna? Could you hear me from here? No,
Master Sunna is too far away. Kellin is actually in range of him, but
yes, I don't know about Kellin. He seems to be making poor decisions. Poor decisions. No, I'm just teasing. He's deserving. So I will cast Bardic Inspiration. Since I'm 5th level now, we are 5th level. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so that means that he gets a D8. Ooh. So for you, Kellin, a D8.
Bravo!
Yes. So I'm going to use my turn to cast this fantastic thunder wave, since there's a thing upon me, and also upon my friend.
Yes, you'll be able to angle it to get both of them. Okay.
Yes. Okay, and so I pull out my concertina, and I quickly honk 4 melodic notes, which I would consider to be sort of a phrase of a bluesy phrase, and some light bursts forth from the bellows, and they all die.
Well, let's find out. What's your spell save DC?
1. No, that's not right. Spell DC 15.
15. So I'll let you roll this for me, please. Could you roll for each of the blights?
Sure. Am I rolling an...
So it's a Constitution save. So if you tell me what you roll, I'll tell you if they... see.
Can't read backwards, but it looks like ERA.
That's duck of.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. So an 8. Is that what you said?
No, you roll a d20 for each of them.
Okay.
And tell me what you get.
7.
Okay, that guy fails.
10.
No, they both fail. So would you like to deal your damage to them? Is it 2d8? Isn't that right? Do you want to just roll? No, yeah, you roll for each of them. So
3, 2, 7, and an 8.
So how much damage did you do to the first one?
5.
Okay.
And 15 to the second.
And 15 to the second. So they both get thrown 10 feet away from you by the force of the blast. One of them, the one that took 15 damage, just disintegrates as soon as it hits the ground. The one that you did, did you say 5 damage to? It's
yeah, we'll say 5.
Was it? You said 4.
It was 5. It was 5. I'm just being facetious.
Okay. It has lost some parts of itself, but you can see it's struggling. It will. It's still moving. It's animated, and it will be getting up again. But you've blasted it 10 feet away, so you're no longer in melee combat with that. Awesome. Are you going to use your movement at all?
All right, that was well done. Well, so since I disengaged them, can I now run?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So you are... So again, just to remind you, in the vines that are 20 feet away, you've got this pack of 5 larger ones. 30 feet away from you up the path, the smaller ones are surging towards you.
Well, I'm trying to work my way towards my friends, so I will run, I guess, down the path.
Okay, that's fine. If you run down the path, I mean, you could come into contact with... You've got enough movement to come into contact with this big wave that's... coming up to meet you. Is that what you want to do?
Today, yes, is a good day to get eaten by sticks. Yes, I can do it.
Okay, that's excellent. Right, Master Sunna, it's your turn. You've got 2 stick monsters on you. You're also aware that there's a very angry druid in the next room who has just not given you the best hair day of your life. So, yes. What's the plan?
I'm going to attack the 2 on me.
Yes.
16.
Okay, 16 will hit.
And that's a d6. Oh yeah, no, that's 8.
Yep, so that one's dead.
Yes, and because I have an extra attack, I'm going to try and kill the other one as well.
Okay.
And that's 8 plus 6 is 14.
Yep, that will hit.
Yeah, and d6 is another 8.
Okay, and it is also dead. So you have effectively removed your opponents. You're no longer in melee combat with them.
Very good. So can I take can I dash forward towards the druid and then take my flurry of blows as the bonus
I don't know
attack?
how flurry of blows works.
A flurry of blows is immediately after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 chi point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
The fact that it says immediately after makes me think that it needs to be...
So I can't dash in between.
Before you do a move. Can I just check? Flurry of blows. What do you think, Master Sunna?
Well, if I'm being in character and lawfully good, then I'd probably say No, because it says immediately after.
It does say immediately after, yeah. No, I'm afraid not. You can still take your move action, but we couldn't do the flurry of blows.
Okay. But she'll get a turn before I get a turn next time. Right?
Although, that, if someone takes a ranged attack when you're in combat range with them, that's to their disadvantage. So if you're planning to get into combat with her anyway, you'd be better off being in her face.
I just don't have too many hit points left. But yes, I will run towards her with a primal yell of fury.
Okay, she seems taken aback. She was not expecting you to get up from that. But she readies herself with her staff and growls as combat is joined. Lord Talfrin, it is your turn. You've just seen Jean deal with one of the blights that was on you, and he's charged away screaming like a lunatic into the fray.
Again?
You're very impressed. I'm a magician.
So he's away at the pack that's 30 feet ahead of you now. Obviously you're aware that through the trees there's a bigger bunch that are closer as well. What's the plan?
I am running out of magic. It's becoming official. But there's always Firebolt.
Okay.
So I will shoot the one that dared attack me and that is currently glistening with my blood.
Yep.
In the face. Does a 13 hit?
It does hit.
Oh, huzzah. We'll take that. And I deal 1 point of damage. I knock off his ear.
You deal 1 point of damage. Yeah. His ear is ruined, but he still exists. He's it's been a lot of small bits of damage.
I hope he's a little off kilter from now on. I charge after Jean. I go 30 in his general direction.
Okay, so you guys are now side by side.
Excuse me, did you say Jean?
Jean.
The war is cancelled. This is why I don't give you bardic inspiration. You call me Jean. Jean, for God's sake.
John is the man who stands by my side.
Famous.
Jean is the man who vamooses into the over the horizon.
Okay.
You can become John again once I see you show a little grit.
Okay.
Oh, sir.
So, Kellin.
John. Look him in the face and say, John. See if it cheers him up. Much like a toddler would.
Oh, my God.
John.
I was famous. I was known.
Crit Faced is a weekly Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, and to get an exclusive prequel episode of the podcast, where you can find out what our characters were up to before this adventure began, head over to critfacedpodcasts.com and join our Crit Faced fan group.